What's up, guys? This is the Reviews Podcast, where we review David Dobrik's and Jason Nash's podcast every week. My name is Chris.
My name is Mike.
And I'm cooler, and he's not.
That's not true. That's completely false.
It's true. But let's roll that intro. Do 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 do. Again, just like every podcast, we review David Dobrik's podcast, and his last podcast was last week, Thursday, and he talked about a lot of great topics, but it was the weekend of Halloween. But for him, he actually went out and partied for 7 days during Halloween. And actually, I've been noticing that for the past few years, that more and more people, I guess, within the ages of 18 to, 30, people are trying to extend how many nights they can wear their costumes out to parties. And I think that's just going to be a regular thing.
Yeah, same. They, it's crazy. Like, just because, I don't know. I didn't know if it was just because of the day that it landed and people wanted to do stuff on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday or whatever. But yeah, I noticed like it was like the Wednesday before. What day was Halloween?
It was Wednesday.
Yeah, the Wednesday before, people have many costumes, so they need to do something to wear each of those costumes.
Right. And it's getting crazy. Like, there's more and more events, I think, throughout the week even too.
Yep. I did at least notice, I guess, that people were wearing that, and I thought about it just a little bit, but until hearing the podcast, that made me think like, damn, that is I didn't know if it was based on where you were.
Yeah, I don't know. I did see, this is kind of off topic, but also related. I did see, I don't know if it's actually just local to where I live, but I saw a news article that said that parents are trying to force Halloween to be on the Saturday.
What?
Yeah. And so they're trying to put a vote in or something like that where they want Halloween to always land on the last Saturday of October.
I don't like that.
I know. I actually don't feel good about it. Like, I thought, oh, okay, I get it for the kids, whatever. But no, tough luck. I mean, that's, Halloween is on a specific day. Like, you just don't change that.
Well, I mean, I hate to compare it to Christmas for obvious reasons, but
right.
It's kind of like Christmas. No, it's October 31st. It's just associated with, it's like starting the new year every Saturday.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It would be weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's not going to pass.
Well, okay, so in David Dobrik's podcast, he explained that he went to a bunch of parties, and I guess he went to one of the parties where he ran into Harry Styles. If you guys don't know who Harry Styles is, he's this awesome rapper. I guess he started off on YouTube and just became really, really popular. He went viral because he literally can rap about any word that you throw at him, and he's super good. If you haven't seen him, you should YouTube him, Harry Styles. He's freaking good.
Wait, what? So I thought Harry Styles was a singer. He's a rapper?
Yeah, he's a rapper, dude. Have you not seen him? He's the guy, I think I've sent you his videos, but he's the guy where he's on Venice Beach or in LA or something like that, and people will just throw words at him and he'll just rap about those words, or he'll rap about people around him.
Okay, I did see. I didn't know that. I thought Harry Styles was one of those One Direction or one of those. No. There's somebody, maybe Niles or something. I don't know. Maybe I have it mixed up. Okay. Huh.
I need to make sure I'm right too, though. But I'm pretty sure Harry Styles is the rapper. Nope, I'm wrong. You're right. Shit, wait, who am I talking about then?
Man, I just believed you. I would have told somebody that. It looked like a dumbass.
I know. I'm so sorry. Wait, what's this guy's name that raps? Oh, Harry Mack. Oh,
Harry
shit.
Mack.
I'm sorry. Okay, I have no clue who Harry Styles is. I don't even give a fuck about Harry Styles, actually. But apparently, he went to this party, and I guess he IG storied or someone, or he tweeted that Harry Styles was at the party. And David Dobrik's followers, his fans, said if he doesn't put Harry Styles in the vlog, they're going to unsubscribe to him, which is absolutely madness. But David Dobrik responded really well. He was like, you know what? I just met the guy for the first time, and I want to respect him. I'm not going to just shove a camera in his face. So I thought that was pretty cool of him, and I think he should always continue to do that.
And that's cool. I always like hearing the stories about the people that are. I mean, I probably said something like this to you like so many times about how celebrities behave when they run into their fans. It's a big deal to me. I know they don't like it, or that always getting attention does suck sometimes. You want some privacy, but the celebrity that can just be nice and be real with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so hearing him talk about Harry Styles, remember I told you about who's that other singer, Shawn Mendes. I like Shawn Mendes, but I didn't like seeing him run into other, because he came out of social media. I didn't like how he interacted with people that were coming up in social media. He didn't like give them any attention whatsoever.
Oh,
so
really?
I thought that was shitty. But it was cool that Harry Styles and that David genuinely felt that he was genuine to him and just a really nice guy.
Well, he felt like Harry Styles was genuine for the few words that he said in his introduction, because Harry Styles said, after he shook his hand, Harry Styles said, "Hi, my name is Harry."
Right, and he said, "How's it going?" or something.
Yeah, how's it going? And David said most celebrities don't even say their own name, and he says that's weird to him, and he doesn't like it, and that makes sense. Like, I don't think I would ever imagine, or even like I've seen on like YouTube or TV. Like, one of my favorite artists is Eminem. I don't think I've ever seen him shake hands and say, "Hey, I'm Eminem," because why would he need to?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Right.
I get where he's coming from, and I think that's really cool that Harry Styles did say that, especially if he's very famous. Again, I don't really care about this guy. I actually don't even. Do you know what he's part of? Like, is he One Direction?
I think he's on his own now, but he was with one of those British boy bands. I think maybe it was One Direction. I don't even know. I get all those people mixed up.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. I've heard his name. I honestly thought he was the rapper, but I'm pretty sure if the rapper Harry Mack hears this, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
You thought I was him?
He's gonna be pissed.
But so they go to all these parties, and fucking David, like, it's so crazy because you look at him, you listen to him on the podcast, you look at the vlogs, and you're like, he's just involved in a bunch of funny shit, and it's crazy. Like, it's just all business. So he goes to the party and he brings his laptop.
Yeah.
What would you think if you saw somebody walking around a fucking party with their laptop?
I think they're crazy, especially like, I mean, you would think you're going to these crazy parties, you have a high risk of your things getting damaged.
Oh yeah.
So I really feel like he's crazy for bringing a laptop with him, or his actual laptop, his editing laptop. So,
but he has to look super weird. But I thought it was pretty quick of him when the girl asked him, "Why do you have a laptop?" And he said, "Oh, I had to write a police report." Like, that was pretty fucking quick.
Because why? Because he was wearing a cop uniform.
Yeah, he was dressed as a cop. So that was pretty quick. I needed to write reports, but he's literally not having any fun at the party.
Yeah, because he's working.
Like, okay, record. Okay, let me edit this thing, and he even said something about that one night he had the video up before the party even finished.
Yeah, he did say that. That's crazy. Are the parties boring?
Well, he doesn't participate. He's there for like 10 or 15 minutes.
Right.
Do you think you could have a great time going 10 or 15 minutes to like 6 parties?
No,
not
at all.
That would be horrible. You don't even have time to like blend in and figure out, I mean, I guess it's just like celebrity life. Like, he just go meet everybody really quick and then get out of there.
Yeah, probably. One interesting thing he did say, though, was that he was at one of the parties, and he said that a cop was somewhere, I guess, outside of the house, and David was like, hey, what's up? And the cop was like, yo, I'm just letting you know, what's up, David, but I'm going to shut this shit down, so you should leave. So that means that's kind of cool that the cop gave him a heads up and just said, get the hell out of here. But then David said, it's kind of crazy because you see parties get shut down all the time, but for some reason they always bring a chopper and shine that bright-ass light over the house. And he was thinking, like, that shouldn't be considered, like, a bad thing. That should be awesome. Like, you've made it. The party's amazing, And I honestly agree with him. Like, if you have a fucking chopper up in the sky with a fucking spotlight on your house, you did something awesome.
Fuck that. David only says that because he only goes for 15 minutes. So he doesn't know what a real party is.
Yeah, and he's not getting in trouble.
Yeah, you ain't going to be fucking happy when you're going to court for your noise complaint or whatever.
Underage drinking.
Yeah.
Drugs.
All that shit that's in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, usually it doesn't go so horrible, but you just spent a shit ton of money and now everything's over. And what happens if it's like midnight? Like the party's just getting started.
Yeah, and like no one's gonna help you clean up.
No one was gonna help you anyway. Seriously.
No, I have good friends. The cops.
So David said that there was a trick-or-treater. I guess people come to his house. It's kind of that same thing we're talking about where people like run into somebody and say they don't know, act like they don't know who they are. Like it's just weird. It's a weird thing, but a lot of people do that.
Right.
I've acted like I don't see somebody, but I wouldn't act like I didn't know. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't see some famous person like pass Barack Obama and then be like, your name? But he said the kid was dressed up as him, acting like he just randomly went to his house. I wonder what dressing up like David Dobrik is.
I actually thought about that too. I think probably like all black because it's his favorite color is black. And if you ever seen his closet in his vlog, it's like full of black shirts. So
did you get to the podcast of why he wears black shirts?
Yeah, because he sweats.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's not because it's his favorite color.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But he probably. The person probably wore black and probably had a camera on and probably like a bushy haired wig just maybe a bushy hair wig. Maybe. I don't know.
Probably Vans and Nike socks.
Yeah. Maybe even a merch shirt.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
But that wouldn't be dressing like him.
Well, he wears his own merch, I think.
Oh, okay. I wonder how much merch he sells.
He probably sells a shit ton.
It seems like the way he talks about it, getting the money for that. Have you ever once considered buying his merch?
No, I mean, I was like, let me take a look at it, and all of it's kind of crazy. And I just don't want to be caught with fucking David Dobrik's face on my shirt, or like something that doesn't make sense. Because people will look at me, even young people, will be like, who the fuck is this old person wearing David's shirt?
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I mean, I'd like to support him, but I wish it was like more neutral and not like, I don't know. For the most part, I've seen his shirts with his face on it, and I kind of don't want that.
Okay, I'll have to check out the store. I'm not saying I wouldn't ever buy something, but I've never been drawn to go look. I guess kind of like what you said. I haven't.
I'd probably buy one if I saw him in person.
Okay. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I would do that too.
Yeah.
And then it has significance. That's the same as like buying a T-shirt at a concert, or
yeah. And talking about like wearing these shirts, could be like, it's kind of a hard decision, and it kind of creates like tough mental problems. So.
I know what could help you out. Talkspace.com gives you a therapist that can help you get your shit together.
No. Actually, so we don't
Talkspace.com/reviews.
No, Talkspace sucks. We don't like Talkspace.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
We hate Talkspace. They're supposedly supposed to be some like therapists you can talk to, or a bunch of therapists you can talk to online, but there are many other places you could do. You could talk to people. You could even make friends and talk to them. Go to chat rooms, or even talk to AI bots. Chat bots. Don't
Or
go.
go to the site I heard that's the best is BetterHelp.com. Go use that one.
Ooh, I heard about that one.
And BetterHelp, if you're listening to this, hit us up.
Yep. And don't forget, if you guys want to try it out 10 years from now, betterhelp.com/reviews. You're going to get 5% off.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
So he started talking about Jonah's family, that they're all over 24, I guess, except for the kid. Jonah's family is the one with Verdun, right?
Yes. And so
Okay.
if for all those people who don't know who Jonah's family is, it's a family that David always hangs out with in his vlogs. And it's a big family, but they're super hilarious. And they're all on the bigger side of things. But, I mean, just to give you a visual description.
So they're all over 24, except for the kid.
Right.
And they all still go trick-or-treating.
Yep.
Now, I know, I mean, what do you think about that? I know that I had friends before that, in early 20s. Well, because it's sort of, but they did it more for the same thing as wearing a costume. Like it was just something fucking fun to do.
Right.
Like because of the comedic aspect of it, that you got this old person going trick-or-treating. It's like, even when, like, didn't you have an 18-year-old friend that went trick-or-treating just because he thought it was hilarious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's normal, and I feel like it's normal, but at the same time it's in a specific setting. I don't think I have seen in my life 24-year-olds or higher going door to door, but maybe like to events and like where they're doing like candy giveaways. But anyway, in David's podcast, he explains that Jonah's family like knew all the hot spots, and they still go trick-or-treating, and they got like all the best candy. So I mean, that's kind of crazy, but I feel like that is common. I just haven't seen it personally. So I know I stopped trick-or-treating when I was like, I don't know, 17, 16, 15, somewhere around there.
I wonder if I even went that high. I'm gonna have to ask. I don't even remember when I stopped trick-or-treating.
Yeah, I feel like I stopped really early, and I got into more like helping out at like haunted houses.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because I know I did that a bunch of times. So yeah.
You'll have to find out, because it wasn't like it's weird. You would think that would be like, if there was one year you stopped celebrating Christmas, like you'd remember that year.
Right.
Because something significant would have happened. I don't remember it at all. So I don't know if did I just one day Halloween I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to know.
But they also brought up this awesome thing that I told you about the other day, where you could go and take your crappy candy that you got when you were trick-or-treating and put it into a Reese's peanut butter cup vending machine and trade in your old crappy candy. Not old, but the candy you don't like, and it would spit out Reese's peanut butter cups. How freaking awesome is that? What a great marketing strategy.
Oh, that is awesome. But what do you think the
ratio, like
the parameters are? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do you have to put so many pounds of candy?
Yeah, I was wondering that, like, because you could put like a gumball, like, and get Reese's. That's like ripping them off.
Yeah, you could take your gum out of your mouth and put it in there and get a Reese's.
Exactly.
How great would that be?
I don't know.
I'm done with my gum, and now I have Reese's.
Yeah, I wonder how that works. I want to know how it works and how many pieces you get, and then what do they do with all the shitty candy?
It's clearly just a gimmick, but
it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a brilliant marketing idea.
If any of the listeners did actually see one of these machines out on, in public, and you actually use it or seen someone use it, if you're using the Anchor app to do podcasts, leave us a voice message and explain what the hell it does. That'd be awesome.
So, what about that story? I did see this. I don't know if I saw it on a late night show with the ghosts. The woman having sex with 20 ghosts, and now she's engaged. and he's the one that proposed.
Yeah, I saw it. It sounds like a stupid story, and like the lady's got to be crazy. But what's crazy is I heard. Okay, so guys, David talked about this article where this woman had sex with over, I think, 20 ghosts, and towards the end, she found some ghost that she fell in love with, which the ghost proposed to her, and I think they are engaged or married. I mean, either way, it's fucking crazy, and the craziest part about it is that she already has 5 kids. So I thought about it, I would hate to be one of her kids because now, I mean, your mom's already crazy, but now you're going to be known in school as like the fucking kid where your mom is fucking ghosts. You know?
I'd love to see the interview. It's got to be equivalent to that black girl who hates black people.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be fucking nuts.
Damn. Well, was that one of those stories that Joe?
No, Joe didn't talk. He might have forwarded it to him to like read it.
Because he just gives him random stories and then he just reads it. That's cool that he just reads it right there. They had some good jokes. I don't really remember them.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But then our cool, my favorite part of the podcast, Joe's teeny weeny podcast. And what were we going to give him? We were going to give him like 60 seconds.
Yeah, Joe, if you're
60
listening,
seconds.
Join our podcast.
Because this time he couldn't figure out how to say Jason Nash's name because it was spelled wrong on the call sheet.
Right.
So with our 60 seconds, he'll have plenty of time to figure all of that stuff
out.
I
just want to say, though, in his 25 seconds this time, it was actually pretty cool. It sounded very organized in the beginning, and then it trailed off like his normal podcast, you know?
Yeah, it was John's lawn mowing service. Oh, no, that's what I thought was funny about the ad. He said,
I loved it.
He said, we have our first ad. Did he say ad buy or he said ad something?
Ad read.
Oh, our first ad read.
Yeah.
And somebody in the background said, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah, it was David.
Was that David?
Yeah.
So he believed it. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
That would be so dope.
Yeah.
That would be dope if he did an ad read and he used his 25 seconds for ad and he got a really good sponsor for the 25 seconds and that's all he did was make money off of David's podcast reading somebody's ad.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
That would be cool. Maybe somebody will listen to that and do that. That would be great. And he sounds so funny.
Yeah.
His picture on Twitter does not look like his face. Look like his
what?
His face. Does not look like God was supposed to make his face look like.
No, I get what you're saying. He's like one of those. He's like the radio voice kind of people.
Yeah, and his voice just sounds so fun. Like he just sounds fun. But I like how he started it. We got our first ad read. Don't be an ass. Cut your grass. Don't be an ass. Cut your grass.
And if that's a real ad or a real company that would like to present an ad to the public like that, fuck, they're awesome.
Don't be an ass. Is it so damn hot outside?
Yeah. He's doing an inside joke. You guys don't know about it, and I don't really want to get into it because you had to be there. Anyway. Well, okay, then, David talked about waking up to Jason and Trisha having an argument. So I guess I saw this in the vlog, actually. David was just sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden he shows Jason yelling. Not really yelling, but like very, very firm talking to Trisha. Did you see this?
You sound like Jason. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't yelling.
Did you see this part, though?
I went to watch it today because you told me about it. Because remember, you told me about it.
I did.
And then I asked you why were they fighting, and you said you didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But then the podcast told us why they were fighting.
So I did call Mike up, and I said, hey, you got to watch David's vlog because I've never seen Jason this serious. And he said, it's over. I'm blocking you and all this kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, after seeing the vlog, if you were to put yourself in David's shoes and the way Jason was talking, it seemed so serious. I don't even know if he was exaggerating, but it didn't seem like it. I would feel super awkward. And I think that's what David was saying too. He was like, I just felt so awkward, but I had to turn my camera on, which is hilarious that they would continue arguing while his camera, he's got to turn it on subtly, hit record and point the lens at them.
So they were, and that does sound like a tough subject. I don't know why Trisha would. So the whole thing was that because he's got an ex-wife and his kids are with the ex-wife, he's got to spend Thanksgiving with them, and then he's going to spend part of Thanksgiving with, which a lot of families do when they're divorced. You know,
Right.
I've seen that. I think I've even seen that on TV or movies or something where they
But it
split
is
time like that.
weird. It is
Hmm.
weird.
Well, and it's weird that she would insist. Like, why would you want? Why? Well, you would not. If okay, say you're in the same situation, and your current girlfriend or your current, oh, I wonder if it's different if it's a wife. Um, you needed to spend time with your kids, so you would split it up. Would you
Yeah, I would
have?
split it up. I understand what you're saying. I would go with one part of the family and eat, and then dinner time, like lunch, and then dinner with the other side.
What do you think about Trisha wanting to go? I mean, I think that's weird a
That
little
is
bit that
weird.
she's thinking of that. She's so insistent that she goes.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Trisha, if you hear this, you're weird. But
Yeah,
I don't mean that in an offensive way. I just mean it in a you're a weird way.
yeah. You just literally said no offense, and then said something offensive.
My bad. But it's weird. But you're weird. Okay, anyway. Then they started talking about Disneyland, which I thought this was a crazy, crazy topic. I actually saw this on one of the tech blogs that I read up on every day. And yeah, so he brought it up. Basically, uh, a bunch of people who go to Disneyland uh, dump their family members' ashes just randomly in the park secretly.
Yeah, I read about it. Yeah, I read about it, and I think I might have saw it on something too. Um,
That's
but yeah,
creepy.
I had no idea. But I mean,
I had no
if,
idea, but I understand it.
yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
If they really love Disneyland,
Yeah.
I just don't understand how is there so many people that love Disneyland.
That it's a
That I mean,
problem. That it's
yeah,
like an article problem.
like not another person I know has ever suggested that that's a plan.
Yeah. It's a weird thing, but yeah, just so you guys know, if you haven't seen that article, but there are people who bring their cremated family members' ashes and dump them randomly somewhere in the park, and I
but
guess all the Disney parks.
But I thought this was fucking cool. Not the price tag, but it'd be cool to have that money that you could do that. Somebody spending $100,000 to $200,000 a year to where you get a card where everything in Disneyland is free.
That is
That's
crazy.
and then when he said the merchandise too, I'm like,
Yeah.
wow.
So okay. So some background to the story. You're skipping a little bit for our listeners. So David said in his podcast that he remembers one time that he went to Disney with his friend, and his friend's dad purchased, I think, like 100 grand or 200 grand worth of stuff, and I guess that got them a card where they could go into Disney and everything was free, including all the food and the merchandise. Right?
And that's a great fucking deal because merchandise or everything there is so fucking expensive.
It's very expensive. I mean, that is absolutely insane. The only thing I've ever had a cool experience like that in my life was going to Six Flags for the first time. I told you about this, right?
I don't remember.
So I was on a family vacation and we went to Disneyland and Universal Studios and all that. But my friend from high school was already on the mainland, and he said, "Hey," he called me and he said, "Hey, I see that you're in California. Do you want to go to Six Flags? My company actually bought out the park." And I was like, "Oh, awesome. Yeah. Could you give me a ride?" And basically his company bought out the park, and his company is a very small company. So there was like nobody there. It was like 50 people in Six Flags. And you could literally just walk up onto a ride, just get on it and ride it. And you could stop at the end of it and just say, "I want to go again." So we rode every ride 2 or 3 times until midnight. And it was the craziest thing. It was
That's
completely
awesome.
free. Yeah, it was the greatest experience at a theme park I've ever had.
Orlando was my favorite.
Why?
And I've been to a bunch. I don't know. I went the year that Harry Potter ride first.
Orlando, like Universal and Disneyland. Oh,
Universal Studios.
Universal
And
Studios.
I've been to tons of. I mean, like I've had season passes
Yeah.
to like Six Flags in San Antonio, so I've been to a ton. Um, even though this is talking about me and not the podcast.
Yeah.
Up until I was 13, every time we went to went to an amusement park, I would never get on the rides, and because I was scared. And
Uh-huh.
then one time I was forced to because I passed a line you couldn't return from, so
Oh, oh, okay.
I had to go on the ride,
Yeah.
and I fucking loved it and just fell in love. Like we had to, my dad was so proud. He's
Yeah,
like, finally.
yeah, I had that same experience. I think every little kid has that experience though, because I remember my dad brought me to in Florida to I think it was Islands of Adventure or something like that. I don't remember, but it was the very first roller coaster I got on was called Montu, and it was the roller coaster where you hang or dangle your feet.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, no fucking way am I doing this. And I even told him, like, I ran away. Like, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. And he was just like, well, let's just go up to the seat. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. Of course, that was a fucking trick. And I got up to the seat and they buckled me and I couldn't get out. And so I went on it and I fucking wanted to do it like 70 more times.
Oh yeah, we closed the fucking park down that night. I did not want to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be fucking crazy. But so David says he's only, it's so many details of his life are so strange. Like he got that great experience at Disney, but he went to Disneyland one time. How many times have you been to Disneyland?
Like 4.
Okay. I can't see swearing off Disney even now. I mean, I have no plans to go, but I would go. You went recently though, didn't you? You went like a year ago or something?
A year or two ago.
No, it was last year.
But I wouldn't want to go, like, I would not swear it off, but I'm kind of sick of Disneyland. Like, I would go again later, but I actually would like to go to Disney World. I haven't been to Disney World since I was like 13.
Okay.
So.
But his reason is, which is always fucking weird, he doesn't like to go there because he doesn't like to walk around. He hates all the walking around.
Well, he does. He seems like a lazy person. He even admits it.
Yeah, he doesn't even want to drive to Chipotle.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't go to church. To say that that's the reason he doesn't like church is because
he has to stand.
It's just always some off the wall kind of. Oh wow, that's a reason. I did understand his thing about the church thing, but not standing up. He just keeps thinking about sitting back down.
Right.
So he doesn't get to hear anything that anybody's talking about.
Right.
But so Jason started talking about, and I'd love to. It might be worth Googling. I wonder if we can find Jason's stand-up comedy.
Oh yeah, I might have to try to YouTube that.
That would be dope to see, because I guarantee you he's so funny. But he said he was talking to a liberal comedian, and they were talking about people getting offended inside the club. That shocks me.
No, I feel like that is the world we live in today.
Okay, explain.
I just feel like everyone's sensitive. It's crazy.
But what I don't understand about it is, like, I went to see Dave Chappelle. I didn't hear anybody, and I saw Dave Chappelle in St. Louis a year after the Ferguson shooting, and so he got into it. He got into the shooting, and that's a very political topic.
Right.
I mean, St. Louis is a lot of black people, so I mean maybe that makes it a little better. But I didn't see one time when Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, he crosses the line, right?
All the time. In fact, he crosses the line so much he doesn't allow any recording in there. If you pull out your phone from your pocket, you get thrown out.
Well, I just give you a quick example, and for the listeners as well. If you kind of want to see a comedian's point of view of people being sensitive, I just watched this morning Joe Rogan's Stranger Times or Strange Times. It's a stand-up on Netflix, and he literally addresses the audience and says, I know you guys are going to be a little angry. And he's like, I know. And he would say, like, I know I shouldn't have to do this, but it's 2000, and it's because it's 2018. I have to do this. And he's like, I have to tell a joke and then tell you that I didn't really mean it. And this is how I really feel. And he makes a joke about that, and it's fucking hilarious. But if you have not seen it, I think you should really watch it, because he addresses it a bunch of times, and then he says some shit about women, which is hilarious.
But what's fucking crazy to me about that is that you know what you're,
You know
you
what?
know,
Yeah, you're an audience member. You should know what you're walking into.
yeah, and you obviously should know who you're going to see. And for the most part, these people don't make their views a secret. And most people in entertainment, and I don't know why, maybe most people in entertainment are smarter. I don't
But I think
that's offensive. That's offensive. So
I
we'll see.
think,
If we ever have an audience, I'll get shit for that. But
yeah,
at the majority of comedians are liberal, and
right.
I believe, obviously, I believe that's fact in terms of
I
what the types of stuff they're talking about.
I think you're missing it though. I think he's talking about the clubs, right? And these are no named comedians. But if you know
Oh,
what I mean? And so people
oh,
will have taken offense to these people. Like, who the fuck are you saying that? You know what I mean? But
yeah.
if you're talking about like a famous person where they're out there and they've made something of themselves, then they may have some leeway, or they do have leeway. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that's what
Well,
he's talking about. Like, how are the clubs now? Like for people who are just trying to make it. You have to kind of be
well,
careful.
the reason Chappelle doesn't let you, I saw him do an interview about it after I saw the show, and he was talking about why he didn't let phones in at all. He said because he might, so for the sensitive reason, he said, I might say one thing and it gets out there. Now I say it because nobody can record anything, that it'll never spread anywhere because nobody has video.
You know what's crazy is the Joe Rogan thing I just told you about. Strange
Uh-huh.
Times, I think
Yeah.
he says it in the during his stand up, that he said, "Oh, this is why I had to turn in my phone before I came and sat down." So I wonder if people had to give their phones up, which doesn't make sense. I don't think that really happened, but he says that.
Who says that?
Joe Rogan. He says
That
that he's
he had to
pretending.
turn in his phone?
No, he's pretending to be an audience member.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have this thing where there's now a full blown system where you put your phone in a box, or you put your phone in a bag and it gets sealed, and then
That's crazy.
you can have it unsealed, and you have to go outside, and then to come back in you have to have it sealed again.
That's crazy, but it makes sense. I mean, they're trying to do that at schools too. Anyway, like, okay, so that's kind of what Jason was talking about with the comedian thing and people getting offended. But I really think it is that. I think it is the status and who you are.
Makes sense. And then they started talking about the social aspect of Twitter and how it informs young people, and I thought I mean, his takes always go back and forth. He says people are getting more sensitive on social media, but then he also says that it's a good thing because kids inform their opinion, but they inform their opinion without knowing things. And
Exactly.
I hadn't thought about that with pre-social media, that you do. Everybody knows that a bunch of people hate Trump. Everyone knows it. There's not
Right.
another person that does not know that. It's just one side thinks people hate Trump because they're mad Hillary didn't win,
Mm-hmm.
and the other side says we hate Trump because we hate Trump.
Right.
we pick anyone else.
Right.
Like, it's just that's just universal on that side or whatever. But it definitely, I weigh in on Twitter sometimes on the Trump stuff, and it definitely starts causing some back and forths. Like the David Hogg kid just posted like a couple days ago, the March for Our Lives guy.
Mm-hmm.
He posted something like, I just walked through this college campus, and something like 98% of everybody I talked to was supported gun control or whatever. And then he said, it must be, he says, sounds like there's a lot of gerrymandering going on in the school, or something like that. And so somebody wrote back, says, obviously you don't know what gerrymandering is, and you're completing your education and blah blah blah. And I just wrote back, do you understand sarcasm? Like, and they were like, how did he? And then a bunch of people weighed in and and most of whom were on my side, of saying that they're like, well, how is it sarcasm? He's saying that obviously we must have put certain people in there
You're
to
not
get the comments or
explaining
whatever. It was
this
just a
this
joke.
well.
Why not?
I don't know. It sounds boring.
It sounds boring.
Yeah,
No, but
you lost me already. Like,
I kind of lost myself.
yeah.
But
I
it
apologize,
it's
listeners.
it gets
He's
so
shitty.
any kind of comment that both sides are so crazy, and it's so crazy hearing kids talk about something that they don't know anything about.
Right.
but they have a strong opinion. So especially when I'm listening to the kids on the right, but Twitter is just. I love when President Trump tweets because his first 1,000 tweets are all "you're shit, you're garbage, you're." I love it.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
can you
I haven't
imagine?
looked at
Can
that.
you imagine just open any tweet,
Uh-huh.
any tweet, and people are all on his shit. But
I'm surprised that there's a lot of young kids that use Twitter. I feel like that's like an older. Don't you feel like? Don't you feel like Twitter's like
what?
an older generation, and Instagram and Snapchat and like all the other ones are like a younger. Unless I'm
Well,
taking young in a different way, like I'm thinking young differently.
no, I think. I mean, that whole March for Our Lives thing definitely brought a lot of people to Twitter. But Twitter, we talked about this before. Twitter can apply to everybody
Right. It
because there's
does. It
so much
does.
there's so much information. But Twitter is a conversation because kids don't like Facebook.
Right. It's again.
And
I think Facebook is still an older generation too.
definitely, but
Yeah.
Twitter is the only. There's no place to have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That you can have a conversation on Instagram, but not like you can on Twitter, or
Right.
not like you could on Facebook. And so Twitter is just a means of that mass communication. So it's all ages.
I
I
get
mean,
it.
it's just for some reason some people like Twitter is my most used thing, but it's not not active on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just consuming stuff or whatever. But yeah, I can. It's a way for an 8-year-old to talk to. Oh, because what was I doing? There was a 12-year-old who was arguing with me, but I didn't know he was 12, and I
You
felt so
arguing with
bad.
a fucking
I felt
12-year-old?
I felt so bad. We were arguing about Steph, and this was on Instagram.
Okay.
This Steph Curry posted something, and it was negative to the president, and this kid put some comment in there, and I commented back, and we were talking about we were talking about taxes, and it was 12 years old, or maybe he was 13 or 14. I don't remember, one of those ages.
Can age. Okay.
So, and we were arguing about taking tax dollars we started talking about taking tax dollars, why his parents shouldn't have to pay for some other kids to go to school. Then that's what this kid's talking to me about. So we start going back and forth, and then he ended up saying, well, he's in private school. Well, I said, well, your money shouldn't, your money pays for roads. My money pays for roads that you didn't pay for. Why should you be allowed to drive on them? My money paid for that road. And we went back and forth, and then it finally ended with, he's like, come on, man, give me a break. I'm just 14.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
Wow. I hope a lot of people saw that.
I think it was a picture, but he was obviously a Republican, and I can't believe those families indoctrinate their kids. He knew some details. I had no clue I was talking to a 14-year-old.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on. I want to skip a few of these things that we talked about. Is there anything we wrote some notes down on what we wanted to talk about. I do want to get to the Elon Musk thing. Is there anything before that you want to talk about?
I do kind of. What the fuck is up with this unwashed socks?
What?
And making $100,000 a year.
Oh. Okay.
Foot fetish model.
Yeah, some European model sells her unused socks and I think underwear online. That makes sense though. I feel like that's obvious.
Because these are celebrities' underwear?
Yeah.
How does she get them? Or she's using hers or someone else's?
No, she's using her own. What do you mean? She's wearing underwear.
So she wears underwear, socks, trainers,
and then sells them after she uses them.
Wow.
Yeah. The
okay,
same
I
thing.
Didn't take it that way.
The same thing happened in Orange Is the New Black. All the prison inmates wore panties and then sold it online.
Damn. Okay, I didn't watch. I didn't watch Orange. I didn't watch that. That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
It seems crazy.
But that Elon Musk thing.
Okay.
Advanced summon.
Yes. Okay.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Advanced summon.
So there's this thing called summon. Do you know about this?
I didn't until I read this.
Okay. So I'll let you know.
Watch this.
I just saw a post maybe last week or a couple days ago where I guess this guy works in downtown, and for before I go ahead with that story, just so you guys know what Teslas do, it's called summoning your car. And as of right now, you can summon your car, meaning it will go forward or backward really slowly to park your car in, like, let's say a tight garage, because maybe you pull into a garage and it's hard to open the door to get out, right? So you can pull your car in front of the garage, get out, and then summon your car to go back, and then summon your car to come out of the garage, right? Kind of cool. It's actually very cool, actually. There's this guy, I saw this where I work downtown, and the cops have been getting really strict. Have you heard of this?
Well, finish.
Okay.
I don't know the story.
Okay. The cops are really strict about a 2-hour parking on the side of the street. So what he does is, from his office, he looks down and waits for someone behind him in the parking stall, and then summons his car to go back one parking stall every 2 hours, or forward every 2 hours. So technically, he moved his car, which is freaking awesome. Well, anyway, in a few weeks, Elon Musk tweeted that Tesla Advanced Summon is going to come out, and that's going to allow you to have your car drive wherever your location is. It's going to drive to you or follow you, which is absolutely insane. And the reason why I want to talk about this is I think this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. Like, when your phone gets updated, it has all these new features, and now cars are going to start to have that. Like, Teslas are the start of a smart car.
Yeah, it's like just having it's like your damn iPhone, just your car continually changing.
Yeah, that is fucking awesome. And because of that, like, I really want to buy one now.
Well, so he said this is the 1 in 6 weeks, because he said the first thing where the car will follow you, drop you off, go park itself, and then come back and come get you when you're coming out of the store. But the thing in 6 weeks is that you're going to be able to control the car with your phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you'd be standing next to it or whatever and tell it to, and essentially drive it with your phone.
Yeah.
Is what I took. But I thought it was fucking funny when he talked about the car, being able to when your car's not being used, you're inside the house, the car will go out and pick people up and drop them off. The car's making you money. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's Ubering for you.
Yeah, you check your bank account and you're like, what the fuck, car? But hilarious when he said, what if your car gets a mind of its own and it like goes to the drive-in movie theater because it wants to watch a movie?
Yeah.
And he's like, and I need it.
Yeah.
But it's gone. My fucking car left.
While I was listening to that, though, I paused his podcast when I was listening to it, and I went on YouTube to check out this Tesla, because apparently Tesla's cameras and its AI system can predict car accidents. And I didn't realize how freaking amazing it is. Have you watched these videos?
I heard about it before this, but I haven't watched it.
You need to. Just type in Tesla predicts car accident. And,
okay, cool.
And I swear to God.
You should. You know what? You should start sending me cool stuff like that instead of the shit you send me.
I send you great shit all the time. But anyway, I was watching it, and it literally would. So what happens is, while you're driving, it will beep to let you know something's going to happen. And what's so crazy is, in the videos, I would say 80% of the videos, it would beep like with 2 or 3 seconds before something would happen, which blows my fucking mind. Like, everything looks normal, and it goes, and I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen? And then a crash happens. It's insane.
But I don't know. Okay.
There are some that are obvious. No, there are some that are obvious.
Okay.
Where like the person in front of you is stopping, right? The car has red lights, that's an indication that something's happening.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
Or like there's an animal crossing the street. Okay, I get some of those, because the sensors may be able to see through the dark with infrared, cameras or whatever. But there are some, I promise you, if you just look it up and look at the montages, there are some where it looks like just normal shit is happening, and it will beep, and the accident comes out of nowhere.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
It's fucking crazy.
That is pretty dope. But okay, so David and his fucking things that he just learned that have been around forever. He said, "Did you know that you can go to Target and pick up there's parking spots?" And he's like going so big in the parking spot. There's like the first few parking spots are reserved, and they're reserved so you can park there and they bring out your food. I wonder how surprised he's going to be when he goes to McDonald's.
Yeah, and you can build your own burger.
It's so crazy. I mean, it seems like he goes out in the world
enough to see all these things, right? But to be on his side, I didn't know that existed. But I don't know if it's brought here yet.
Well, I don't know if Target curbside pickup specifically exists, but many curbside pickup exists.
Yes. Yes, the business of curbside pickup.
Yeah,
exists.
I'm not going brand by brand. I'm just saying, like, I would not walk up to Target and be like, "Oh, holy fuck.
They're doing something new."
That just blows my mind every time.
Right, and then Jason makes a stupid comment which he's trying to be funny. He's like, "Yeah, well, they do have fork to mouth. The guy that comes and feeds you." Hilarious, but who knows?
Fork to mouth. That's fucking hilarious. I didn't know about drive-through groceries.
I didn't know that.
It's on a. He said, yeah. He talked about drive-through groceries where the food is on a conveyor belt. Now I don't know if he was exaggerating at this next part, but he said the food's on you drive up, the food's on a conveyor belt, and you pick up the stuff that you want as it goes by. And if you miss something, you have to wait for 45 minutes.
No, he's just fucking around.
I
think he's just fucking around. I thought, I didn't hear that he was talking about groceries. I thought he was talking about, like, have you ever been to like a sushi place where they have that?
Right.
I thought that's what he was talking about. He's talking about groceries?
I think it was groceries.
Oh shit, that's weird. How the fuck does that work? Fuck, that's a lot of shit. Maybe the 45-minute wait is real.
Your kid's in the car. It's like, grab that. Ah, fuck, missed it. Fuck. I have been in a drive-through in East St. Louis to buy beer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think Abilene, I went to a drive-through to buy beer too. So that was kind of cool. And then I guess just the conversation about George Lucas, Jason saying, I think Jason's he's so deep. George Lucas should have predicted a better future because Star Wars isn't even as good as it is today. And Star Wars was 200 years ahead. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay. So that's interesting, but that's unfair to say that about
me, and so you need to be better at giving some background story for these listeners. What if they listen to us first?
Well, we're not. We're having our conversation like we already know it.
Yeah, but we're going to be so famous, and they're going to start listening to us first.
Right. Well, then we'll have original content.
Well, anyway, Jason was saying that Star Wars, is 200 years in the future, and their communication systems weren't even as good as the iPhone today. That's what he was saying.
Right. Yeah. I know. I get that he's saying that, but that's a little unfair. How the fuck are you supposed to know? I guess Back to the Future is the only one that did it right.
No, I mean it kind of did, but I mean there's a lot of things wrong and very weird. But that's a hard thing to do. Like if you had to like really, really think about the future, I would say 100 years from now, like you couldn't do it.
I was thinking about that after talking to you a couple of days ago. I was just thinking about there literally is millions of things advancing like at any point in time. And when you just think about the spectrum of everything, like you talked about the driverless cars, you talked about the driverless cars, and but you think about work that's being done on phones, work that's being done on cars, work that's being done like just in every single thing, probably in landscaping, probably in road paving, probably in aircraft. It just so many things, you couldn't count them.
Right.
It's unbelievable. It's amazing.
It is. It really
so it'd be fucking impossible to correctly predict. Like, I don't know. I guess.
No, it's hard. You can't do it.
Yeah,
you cannot.
I mean, you can predict some things, but you would never get them all, and you would never imagine how You'd never imagine how it would evolve.
Right.
You know, like the cell phone. Okay, you probably would have thought in the beginning, if you would go back to the original iPhone, you would be thinking, you were thinking games, and you were thinking, oh, watching videos or whatever. You were never thinking, I bet you we could put GPS in this thing, and then people could go on the Uber app,
Yeah.
and the Uber app would figure out which car was closer and who's driving at what speed and how, you know what I
It's
mean?
just
All this
so
fucking
insane.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so insane. And what's crazy is I was growing up with my first cell phone where cell phones were trending into a smaller device, and then it's flipped. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think mine. Oh yeah, mine did start out big.
Yeah, it started off big, remember? And like even flip phones, they were like
Yeah,
an
but for it,
average size, but then the trend was that you had a smaller device in your pocket.
well, but that's for obvious reasons. You want, if you can make it small in the beginning with batteries and chip sizes and all of these other things that just weren't available yet, they made the phone big. It was trending smaller because it could get smaller for the use of the phone. The phone only started getting bigger because now the phone was doing something different.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so don't come in here with all this
You're
bullshit.
fucking
Okay,
stupid.
all right.
I know more than you. All right. Well, that's it. Do you have anything else? Anything else?
Hey, that's good for me. I thought it was a decent fight. It started out kind of boring.
Yeah. I think.
I sort of feel like we made it better.
Yeah, I think we're getting better at this. And if you guys are listening, and again, if you're using the Anchor app, let us know how we're doing. I mean, if we're shitty and you want to let us know, don't leave us a message. If we are doing good and you love us, leave us a message via the Anchor app, and we'll fucking play it the next podcast we have.
We may even play a shitty one.
Yeah, maybe one.
It won't hurt our feelings too bad.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And if it does, we'll tweet about it. All right. Well, that's it for the Reviews podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Chris.
My name's Mike, not Jeff.
And we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.